It's time for us to go to Wimmera football. We've heard a bit from Coleman earlier on, and we're going to hear from Scotty Stewart. His side, the Warwick Eagles, played their first match, and after a promising weekend before against Dimmy, they got blown away by the Saints, 19-15, 129 to the Eagles, 5-5-35. Scotty, how are you?
Yeah, going well, thanks, mate.
So, disappointing?
Yeah, it was a little bit disappointing the way they finished off, and it was one of those ones where a young team who had a bit of a battle throughout the year basically got to the end of the line, really, and was out of gas. It was a bit interesting, as you said there. The game before, the one they played before against Zimbabwe, they took a fair few steps forward and played a really good game, but they just didn't have it there last weekend against the Saints, who just ran away with the game after quarter time. It was pretty even first quarter, but after that, it's just the young boys, they're making some bit of decision making, just didn't quite go their way, and a couple of skill errors. And as I said, they ran out of gas, and the young legs they were just looking towards the finish line. But the Saints were really good, and they just cemented their spot in the top five last weekend.
Yeah, Byrne was very good, Wright and Martin with 6 goals. Stewart just tried really hard. Young Powell, Watts, Herbner and Bell always give it what they got, but it in the end wasn't enough. But other matches, there was Minyip Matawa beating Horsham. I don't reckon a Burrows side would have nailed Horsham by this sort of a margin in recent times. This is a big win, 18-7, 115 to 5-3, 33. That's a win in the proportions of the Saints beating you blokes. Minyip Matawa have done that to Horsham, so it just shows you where Horsham might well be, but also how good Minyip Matawa have become.
I think that's the main point there about how good Minyip Matawa have become, because I heard there with restrictions, the COVID restrictions and travel, they couldn't get a couple of their boys out of the major centres, and the one being the two who met us from a couple of years ago in Ben McIntyre and his brother Tim. They couldn't get there, and they had another injury to a key player. And as you said, they've still given Horsham a bit of a touch up there, especially after quarter time. Only 1 goal scored in that first quarter, and then it was 17-4 after that. But another name there, you'll read him out in a minute. Clinton Young's just popped up and kicked a lazy 6, so you might lose a couple of boys that aren't travelling, but you've got someone like Clinton can step in and boot 6 for you. So yeah, they're going all right, I think.
Yeah, I tell you what, just pull him in from the bleachers. Got 1 or 2 short, Clinton. You mind pulling on the boots? And yeah, I don't mind. I'll do that. Third best, Chamberlain and Petering just in front of him, but it was a great performance from him. Delahunty, that's Kay Delahunty with 4 and Morgan with 3, and they could have kicked him from anywhere. They were going that well. Win with a couple for Horsham. And in other matches, Ararat 13-12-90 beat Nil 8-8-56. I suppose for Ararat, the season sort of has promised something, and then it just didn't happen for them. And now they are at 5-7. They kind of weren't that far away from the top 5, and probably would have been good enough to get there.
Yeah, no, exactly. They probably surprised a few in the league with how well they went. I mean, at the start of the year, they were touted as losing a lot of experience out of their team. But Matty Walter's got the kids just up and going and firing, and they've produced some pretty good footy towards the end of the year. They produced good footy at the start of the year and towards the end. But bit of a lull in the middle that might have cost them those chances, but they had a bit of a tough draw in the middle of the season there as well. But that must have been a good win down there with Neil making the big long trek over to down the highway at Alexandra Oval. But 6-goal win at the end of the day was a pretty good effort.
Yeah, certainly was. The other match, the Giants got over Dimmy, and enough to suggest the Giants' third place shored up for them. I know that you follow what happens to them closely. They've got some really good depth in this club.
Yeah, they have, and they've been tested a little bit too with the COVID restrictions and a couple of recruits trying to get out of Melbourne there. But they've got some good depth, haven't they? And they've certainly shored up that top 3 berth there. And that was a game that you and I have spoken about, and I think a lot of people might have been wondering about because of the 2 lockdowns that we had, and that it just wasn't allowed to go ahead. But I was really keen to see the result of of that game. And you look at it and you think, the Giants have pretty well controlled the game from the get-go there, 3-0 to nothing, and then 5-1 in pretty good conditions last weekend, and then towards the end for the Giants just to continue on. And the Roos, they got on the board with 6 goals, but the Giants are matching with 5, so they pretty much had them under control. And you never know what's going to happen in the next month or so with hopefully final series going ahead, and these two may well meet again. You never know, so it'll be a good battle.
Interesting stuff too. They have had their power forwards in Dinham and Lucas Cook, and then Brock Orville early in the season going down that season-ending knee. So 3 best forwards in their club not playing, yet they continue to find some good replacements. Having a look at this week's matches, you blokes are out of it. Just a quick review of that. You've got your 14s, I think, into finals, and the Netty girls, some of them have made the finals too. Yeah,
the 14s will definitely play. They got done by last weekend by the Saints for second and third, and they actually did drop to 4th position, the under 14. So they're definitely going to play finals, but depending on results this weekend, and with the 4 points I get from this weekend's bye, hopefully they might be able to jump back into that 3rd spot. But as I said, that's just dependent on other results. And the netballers, they're the same. So a few of those girls are going to sit back and maybe watch for results to pan their way, but whether they finish 4th or finish 5th or finish 3rd, and get the double chance. But they'll find out. But look, the ABs and let's say a couple of junior teams in there, and they'll have a couple of good finals appearances.
Okay, Ararat take on the Giants down at Alexandra. Who do you tip?
Yeah, I'll be tipping the Giants, even though on the away team. I know they again they'll be having a bit of trouble with the COVID restrictions and the travelling and which is really going to even this game out. To be honest with you, now as I said, they've had a good start of the year and they definitely having a good finish of the year, and this will be a really good test for the young fellas down there. But you just think that the Giants have got a lot of depth. You mentioned it before about the boys that are covering up forward there, and Benny Webster and those sorts of lads that they can just get the score on the board. So in conditions down there, you'd think the Giants are the best.
Yeah, it's a danger game for mine still. I just reckon Coleman's gone to full forward to fill in for Josh Webster's injury, so just not sure. I'll tell you what, I think they'll win, but gee, they're going to won't want to be off their game, that's for sure. Stall play the Saints, and this one is an absolute ripper at Central Park. I'm going to go with the Saints here. I think they can beat Stall.
Yeah, that'll be that's fair enough too. But you got Stall coming off it's probably like a 3-week bye, isn't it? Because bye last weekend, with when we did return and the lockdown before. So that I don't think that ever helps. It never helps when you're coming off a 1-week bye, I reckon, and coming off 2 or 3 weeks is not going to be good. But it's just a real interesting game, isn't it? Because you got 3rd and 4th. There's only the 4 points separate. I don't think they're going to swap positions, even if the Saints do get home, because of the percentage that Stall have. But look, I first would look at Horsham Saints last weekend, and especially after that quarter time there, they really knuckled down and played some pretty good team footy. They're just a bunch of kids that David Johns has got run around with them, and he's got them firing up pretty well. So, look, I'd probably agree with that and think the Saints might be a little bit too strong there.
All right, Neil got their home deck, the last game for them of the year. They get Minya Machar. Won't be fun for their senior footballing, but I guess if we go through down maybe in the junior grade, it'll be a bit more fun down there because it's going to be a tough day for their senior footballers.
Definitely will be a tough finish for their season. They've got a bit of a rough end of the stick there, Neil, with those COVID games being changed up. They had to play Warwick Eagles there last weekend, but to finish off with the premiership favourites, it's going to be tough, and you'd think that the Boroughs will be way too strong, but Neil, it's their last game. They'll give it everything they can, but you'd be tipping the Boroughs. Well.
Dimmy take on Horsham in the final game at Dimmy, and this is an important one for them too, because they really, really want to get to a win here, and then that would shore their season's finals campaign up. On the table, Horsham would have to win by an absolute massive margin in their game in the context of this. So, you sort of look at that and you go, To me, it looks to me like this is going to be a very, very good game for Dimboola to win.
Yeah, you'd think, and you'd want them. Dimboola would be wanting to, just get the 4 points. So they've got a bit of a winning record heading into their finals campaign. But I know the last time they played each other, I think Horsham sort of got up in a little bit of an upset at that stage, and sort of started a bit of an inconsistent second half of the year, I suppose you call it, for Dimboola when they lost that game to Horsham. But the D's coming off last weekend with that loss to Wimmera, you'd think they'll be they'll be keen to bounce back. But I'm tipping Dimboola in this one just because they're going to be playing the finals and they want to go in with a win under their belt. And they've got a good team. It's probably a little bit jumbled at the moment with the COVID restrictions. A couple of lads getting out of Melbourne in the major centres, but look, on their day they have a pretty good game. So look, I'll be going for Dimboola in this one, but yeah, really good game, I think.
It'll be a good weekend, Scotty. Looking forward to the last and completed home and away series for Wimmera football, and then to hopefully finals with some crowds. That would be great. We look forward to your commentary on it here on The Flow.
Yeah, no worries. Anyway.